This will always make me laugh. The fact that it's got to be letting us know we're recording, but I guess we are live, aren't we?
We are.
So, welcome to the BDSM podcast, Booze, Dessert, Smoke and Meats. I am Professor Porkloin, and this is my lovely co-host,
The Meat Viking.
the Meat Viking. So, we are continuing our journey along the United States here, and today we are going to talk about Florida. And everybody knows Florida is basically a wild state. So we're going to be saying some funny stuff related to food. But before we get into that, I guess I have to ask you, man, what are you drinking today?
I'm having, sadly, until I re up, my last Sweet Baby Jesus chocolate peanut butter porter.
Oh man, that's the last one.
Uh,
Well, at least you can re up and get another one, right?
Depending, with the way things go, I will be out of town. Oh, well, no, I'm wrong. 2 podcasts from now, I will be out of town, but I might pick up some out of state beer and bring it back. So we'll see what we got.
All right. Well, we look forward to seeing whatever you pick up.
Mm-hmm.
I just was given a notice that one of my friends is bringing me some out of state beer, so I'll be looking forward to showing some of those onto the future episodes as well.
Mm-hmm.
But today I got some tonic water. I'm doing some gin and tonic, man.
Ooh.
The old G and T. I love the fact that it's one of those hot days and you can sip down a G and T and it just cools and makes it nice and refreshing.
That's very true. It's hard to beat a good G and T. Something about just gin in general is super refreshing. It's not like vodka.
Yeah, I wonder if it's the juniper berries
It
or
might
the
be
juniper.
because
Or,
vodka just makes you hate your life.
well, it depends.
Uh,
I feel like Jack Daniels makes me hate my life, but
yeah, that's fair. Jack Daniels will have you reflecting on things that you did wrong in the third grade that you forgot about.
yeah. So, all right. You came up with a safe word for today. What's the safe word?
So now the movie name escapes me right now, but the backstory of me coming to this safe word was all those Florida man, right? Florida man, Florida woman. Essentially, you kind of think like superhero, super strong, probably drugs. Anyways, these Florida men have these power that they could have become a hero, and yet 9 times out of 10, they choose to become the villain. And so today's safe word is villain.
Is villain.
Yes.
All right. Well, I think that we need to get right into it. And everybody knows the whole Florida Man game, right? That's where you go into the old Google machine and you type in Florida Man and then you put your birthday. Well,
Yep.
I think we want to do a little bit of a spin here and apply this same little technique, but we're going to do it to food. So we both have come up with ones that we found, and I think there might be some duplicates. So if there is, you can just pass on to the next one. But I will let you take the first one, and I want you to read one of those headlines about Florida man and something to do with food, and then we can kind of laugh and discuss.
All right. So this one was introduced to me before this topic due through I heard about this on comedy, and it was Florida man arrested for throwing alligator through drive-through window.
Does it say what drive-through?
Wendy's.
Wendy's. Oh man. I mean, I can go for the old Baconator. I could totally understand why someone would want to throw an alligator through a Wendy's drive-through, though.
Yep.
Sometimes Wendy's is not the best one. Actually, you know what? Lately, a lot of the drive-through ones haven't been really smooth, but
So I'm going to interrupt here with a villain. I have had hands down in the past month 5 times more problems with DoorDash getting my food correctly than I have going through the drive-through somebody else yeah.
So DoorDash has actually gotten their shit right, or have they fucked
Wrong.
up? They
DoorDash
got it
was fucking
wrong.
up. Yeah. Yep.
Okay.
Which I don't know who's to blame at that point. Is it DoorDash's fault, or is it Grubhub's, or is it the place that I'm getting food from? Because I'll change it up too. Like,
Yeah.
let's say one night I'll do Wendy's. Well, Wendy's fucked up my order. Let's try Burger King. Well, Burger King extra fucked up my order.
That's funny.
Mm-hmm.
All right, well, here's another one. Florida man begging for food at a Kentucky Fried Chicken, stabbed by the customer. And this was actually pretty recent. This was in February of this year. So someone stabbed a guy who was begging for food, especially in a Kentucky Fried Chicken. Oh man, like I don't know. I guess I can stab someone for a 2-piece or a 3-piece chicken.
Well, like here's the crazy part about this, right? Was it the worker who stabbed the asking man, or was it just another customer in line?
No, it was a customer. Another customer came up and freaking stabbed this guy who was begging for food.
God damn it. Well, I don't mean to one-up you here, but Florida man, this is April 22nd, Florida man convicted of killing former FSU, so Florida State University, mascot in a dispute over gumbo spice.
Yep. Oh, that's funny. You know what? I think I passed that one. And I think with that one, the person they were talking about, they were working in the same place, right? Yep. And that it was like they had a little bit of an argument about how much spice went into that gumbo.
Yep.
And then the dude just picked up a freaking sword, which is decorative, off from the supply closet and then stabbed the guy in the stomach. Like, what kind of shit is that?
I have no idea. Like I said, you have all the potential to be the hero. You chose to be the villain.
Yeah. Oh man, that one's not good. I think my favorite one though is that a naked man chases 2 around Palm Coast. So this is also Florida. It doesn't start with Florida man, so maybe I should say Florida naked man chases 2 around the Chick-fil-A parking lot, and then he kept on saying, "You're gay for looking at my penis." And that I guess when the cops came there, he immediately directed their attention to his exposed penis. So he got disorderly conduct and breach of peace and resisting arrest.
God damn it.
Oh man, Chick-fil-A probably wouldn't take any of that shit, man. I'm surprised that it took him that long. Like I would feel like if there was a naked dude dancing around something saying, "Look at my wiener, you're gay," that they would probably have 5 people just coming right up there and just football tackle that guy and then taking it in their own, back room.
Yeah. Now, like, this is going to go on a tangent here, but I've been to many fast food places in my time at many different hours, and I've seen many different people. I've had people that have been taking my food order and they act like I'm responsible, that they haven't seen their loved ones in years. Like, you catch that kind of attitude, right? Not once have I ever gone to a Chick-fil-A and not felt uncomfortably welcomed, to the point where I'm like 99% sure Chick-fil-A is not a business. It's a cult.
All right, what's your next one?
To loosen it, kind of loosen the mood. We had somebody die, we had somebody being extra stupid. The first sentence of this is, "Florida man, why are you always naked?" ? Florida man starts house fire while baking cookies on George Foreman grill. Now it gets better. The police department responded to a call about a house fire, discovered a nude man who was completely oblivious to what was happening. The unidentified man admitted that he'd smoked weed and downed 2 liters of vodka, which explains why he had no idea why his house was on fire.
Dude, 2 liters and he's still standing. Holy shit.
Yeah,
That's crazy.
that's Florida man strength.
All right. Well, we cannot be sexist on this part, right? We have to see if there's Florida women in this one too. So I
Yeah.
took the liberty of looking up some of those. First one's kind of mild. All right. Florida woman finds cigarette in Taco Bell meal. Basically just found a wet, soggy cigarette in her taco, which okay, I could totally whatever. You know what? Someone's probably having a bad day. That's not the worst of all of them.
Right.
I think the best one, or one of the one, is this was at a Burger King. Florida woman threw a burger and started spitting racial slurs at one of the fast workers at Burger King because the workers because the worker gave her a tomato size that was too big for her burger. And she was charged with a felony.
She should be. It was
So
not that individual's fault that that tomato was too big. In fact,
yeah,
you know what? That 10 cents that tomato cost, you had a 15-cent tomato. You got to be a douche about it? Fuck you, lady.
so, and then this last one again. There's plenty other ones, but I figure we can just going off here. But this Florida woman apparently spits chewed food into fruit bins that were in the grocery store.
Ugh.
So I feel like that's kind of gross, because if you're looking to buy any of those vegetables or anything in those fruit bins, like I don't want to be seeing half-eaten shit. Like there's a reason why there was a lot of those laws surrounding tampering with any type of food.
Mhm.
So, Florida, you are crazy, especially with your men and women doing dumb shit. But
But I will say this, Florida, you have some redeemable qualities about you. One of them being your famous dessert, named after a lime, the key
the key
lime
lime
pie.
pie.
The key lime pie. I don't think that it's wrong to say that key lime pie might be up there with some of the best things to come out of Florida.
Yeah, didn't we talk about key lime pie way back in one of
We
the
did.
episodes? I
In
think
fact,
I kind of did a little bit of that history on why key lime was key lime.
that and I also made a tequila key lime pie, which I think we hosted in our tequila episode.
Yes, that's right. And it came from the Keys, didn't it? Wasn't there someone that had a recipe? If I can vaguely remember, I'd
There
have to go
were
back.
multiple different people who had the idea of the recipe, but they all kind of followed the
Yeah,
same
that's right.
person's recipe. Forget
Well,
her name right now, but we'll call her Grandma Sally.
well, one of the other desserts that I actually found that apparently is the Florida thing too is a Dole Whip. Have you ever heard of one of those things?
Mm, nah, dude.
Dude, a Dole Whip, which I have never heard of, but apparently it's very popular, at least at Disney resorts.
Okay.
Um, and you can find one at Aloha Isle, and apparently it's this soft serve, and it's known as a Dole Whip. So it's very popular, frozen blended. It's got pineapples, vanillas, and swirl flavors. So you can make floats with it too,
Hmm.
but it looks pretty damn good. And apparently there's a lot of people online that have made like the Dole Whip knockoffs. So you can look up a recipe and then kind of make it yourself. But probably Disney has got it so done that it's probably one of the better parts of that. You
Hmm.
know, I feel like they've probably made it just enough that there's not all the secret ingredients, or they're adding something that someone doesn't know. But I think the next time I get down that way, I might have to just spend the $8 to get one just to see what everyone's talking about.
Well, now hold on. As of December 18th, 2019, at Disney World, a Dole Whip cup costs $5.32, including tax. However, is it really you or me if we don't get alcohol in it? Because then it's going to be $13.
Oh, really? They put alcohol in that?
To quote, How much does Dole Whip cost at Disney World? Dole Whip cups start at $5.32, but alcoholic versions of this treat can get in excess of $13.
Well, then I guess I'm going to be spending $13 and
Yep,
getting the boozy version of that.
yep. Because I mean, well, now this will be an interesting kind of thing to come back to, right? Because essentially you're a pineapple soft serve, but you've got a little more texture because you use milk in there, right?
No, actually, the ingredients is just vanilla ice cream. You get pineapple juice and then frozen pineapple.
Ah, interesting.
So I guess the milk would come from your ice cream,
Mm.
but still, like that's it. That's all they got is three ingredients.
But, excuse me. So now at what point does this become a pina colada?
Well, pina coladas have coconut, so you gotta if you add coconut in there.
Right. So if, interesting. Get back
Yeah,
to
you
me on
gotta
that.
you gotta add the rum, gotta add the rum and the coconut, and then you got yourself a pina colada.
What if, well, no, because you said it doesn't use milk. Well, uh, my mind's
I mean,
going places on this one.
yeah, but I guess if you're gonna make your own one, like you could basically throw in all that stuff too,
Right.
right? If the recipe is just those three things, I mean,
Mm.
what's stopping you from putting in some Malibu rum or any type of coconut rum,
Right.
and then giving yourself kind of like a pseudo pina colada, or even then just putting in some pine or some coconut.
Yeah. So just some thought process here.
Yeah, but apparently it's basically exclusively at Disneyland and any other resorts.
Oh,
Like getting it outside of Disney is basically a knockoff.
gotta go OG.
Yeah. So next time you want to get there, go get yourself some Dole Whips.
So to kind of go on another end of the fruit spectrum is apparently during the winter time, Florida is the strawberry capital.
Well, you would think that it would be oranges, right? Because I mean, Florida oranges. It's just
Right.
like Georgia. I mean, Georgia peaches. So I didn't realize that Florida is the strawberry capital of the world, but I could totally see why.
Winter strawberry capital of the world.
Well,
So,
yeah, winter, that's right, because the temperature probably doesn't drop deep enough for it to really fuck up the strawberries.
so apparently, um, strawberries and strawberry shortcakes is a super um, popular dessert also in the Florida region.
Interesting.
Hmm.
Yeah, I could totally go for some of that.
Yeah, I'd
I
go
could see
for a
that.
strawberry shortcake right now.
Yeah.
In fact, I don't know why I don't have one.
Stop calling your wife those pet names, man.
Oh, that's funny.
She'll listen to that and be like, "What the fuck, man?"
Shit. Uh,
But other, we were talking about oranges. What I didn't realize that, citrus, more specifically Florida oranges, have been commercially farmed since the mid 1800s. And that actually Christopher Columbus, he brought some stuff with him in 1493 and even in the mid 1500s.
oh wow.
So I guess because the soil and the fact that Florida typically has some of that subtropical climate, it gives it a great growing for the seeds. And right now, citrus is about $9 billion coming out of Florida. That's freaking wild, man. And that the citrus includes not just oranges though. It
Well,
includes
yeah,
grapefruits,
yeah.
there's tangerines and things like that too. But just some Florida oranges though. That's crazy. Some fun facts though. There are different kinds of Florida oranges. You've got the navel, you've got the Hamlin, and pineapple.
Mm-hmm.
And then there's Amber Sweet and Valencia. And that if you really want fresh oranges, typically that runs anywhere from October through June. That's where you're going to have your best season.
I think
So,
another little citrus that we're kind of forgetting here, and this kind of claims importance here because Dade City has an annual festival for the nearby town of St. Joseph, which claims the
oh,
title
yeah.
of the kumquat capital of the world.
Yeah, I thought I read that in passing when I was trying to do some research about Florida and realized that kumquat would be one of those dirty words that we could say on this, and it's actually not dirty.
It's not dirty. It sounds bad. It sounds.
Yeah. So what about that? The festival? Do you have anything on that and what it entitles?
Um, Unfortunately, not in front of me. It's already been held late in January, but the resource I'm looking at is that kumquat is specifically made for like marmalades and very select desserts, but you can usually only find it at farmers markets.
Oh, okay. So it's not
Yeah.
super commercially produced then.
No, just they have like that festival. You remember how like um some cities have like apple festivals or strawberry festivals?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, this is what they do with kumquats.
They do the Kumquat Festival.
Mm-hmm.
You know what? I bet you they have some pretty cool stuff. I went to a blueberry festival not too long ago and they had basically everything blueberry, like blueberry lemonade, blueberry pancakes, blueberry whatever the hell you want. It's there.
Oh yeah.
So I'm sure kumquat's probably the same way. Be like, hey, look, here's some kumquat juice, which sounds kind of dirty, but or you can say kumquat lemonade, or just I feel like there's got to be someone play on words with kumquat.
Uh,
So, but it's actually it. Well, I mean, again, citrus though. Florida is the way to go, and I guess about 90% of all the orange juices in Florida are coming from, or all the orange juices in America are coming from Florida. So that is some wild exportation right there. Knowing that if you are in Minnesota or somewhere Maine or cold as shit, that you go to the grocery store and then you know that that's coming from a Florida grown orange.
mm-hmm.
So I love oranges though. They're pretty damn tasty.
Oh yeah. So good. So good.
But
Oh,
I know there's one other one that I can say. It's not a citrus or anything. But I did do some research and I found out that the good old Hooters, the Hooters restaurant started in Clearwater, Florida. It's the
mm,
original one. And I guess what's kind of funny is that there were six people, six guys that um, could not agree to anything as a group, and apparently they wanted a place where they can call their own without being, getting in trouble or anything. So they basically started a restaurant. None of them had any restaurant industry and experience. They just said, "Hey, we're gonna come together and we're gonna figure this stuff out." And that was it. That starts the whole entire thing. And it was the original Hooters Six, is what they were called.
mm.
So apparently it didn't really take off until a little bit later, but now Hooters is all over the place. They've got a whole bunch of stores in a whole bunch of different states. I know where I'm from, they've got at least a couple of them about an hour and a half where I'm from, or at least within a 2 hour radius. Um, I think you have one that's right up the road, isn't it? Or is
Oh
that one
yeah. Yep. I still got one near me.
still in business?
Still in business.
They do have some interesting wings though. Now I might have to say that their wings are definitely breaded like hell.
Oh yeah.
I mean, I like the wings, not so much breading on it, but I think that kind of gives it's different. You're gonna go somewhere where they have something different, but the breading is way too much. But I did like, and I don't know if they still have it or not because it's been a while since I've been to one. But they used to do all you can eat wings. They still do that, or do you not know? It was like every Wednesday they would do all you can eat wings.
Let me see right here. Because I was trying to I thought somewhere that my wife had said there was a Hooters in Korea, but I don't remember and I couldn't pull it up.
Hooters in Korea. That would be kind of funny.
Right. Um, looks like Monday means all you can eat wings.
Is that okay? So I thought it was one of the days. I thought it was Wednesday.
Hold on here.
Do you know that Hooters actually had a racing team
For what?
for NASCAR?
Oh, I did not know that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can't pull up. Like you would pull up a pizza area and like see their deals. I can't
Yeah.
seem to pull something up like that with current Hooters deals.
Oh, with their deals.
Yeah.
Okay.
But I believe you were right. And they probably just ended up moving that night to a different night because I think it used to be all you can eat boneless wings, but they came out in sections of 10 at a time.
I think you could choose between boneless and bone in because I would always get the bone in.
You might be right on that. So,
but yeah, apparently Hooters is not as popular as it once was. I think it's gone down.
Well, you also have competition nowadays too with things like Tilted Kilt and Twin Peaks. There used to not be any competition in the restaurant industry.
Yeah, and then I guess with Wingstop and with Buffalo Wild Wings and whatnot, it kind of cuts down some of those too.
Right. I don't know. There is one food that I think we need to mention here because it is an import food.
Okay.
And I think you enjoy this food more than I do. So I'm going to name the food and I'm going to let you take it away, okay? Can you guess it? It's a sandwich.
Oh, yeah, the old Cuban sandwich.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, I think we talked about Cubans before too, but Cubans definitely are very popular in Florida. I know I looked at that kind of as passing of, oh, what's a sandwich that's popular in Florida? And I think because of the huge influence in Miami and Southern Florida, that it's definitely a big thing. But I mean, ham, you can't go wrong with ham. I mean, it's basically grilled and it typically has a pickle and some cheese and some mustard on it. And man, you smush that together, dude. A Cuban sandwich is pretty good.
Mm-hmm.
I still like Reuben's better, but I could easily go for a Cuban if it's on the menu. So, but yeah, I think there was another episode when we talked about sandwiches that I went into more depth into that. So it's probably like episode 5 or 6 for any of the new listeners. You can always go back and take a look at that, where we go into a little bit more in depth of the Cuban and the history of it. So
I got one last food I want to talk about here that I found.
All right.
So, do you know what ceviche is?
Oh yeah, ceviche is really good.
Mm-hmm. Now, what I didn't realize is that ceviche is pretty much pico de gallo with shrimp and avocado in
it. Yeah, it's served cold.
Mm-hmm.
So,
because I mean, you got lime, lemon, tomatoes, red onions, cilantro, salt and pepper. And that right there is pretty much your base for pico de gallo, right?
The pico.
Now, like pico, adding jalapeno if you want to have more spice. And then from here on out, this is where you go into ceviche. You add shrimp, cucumber, and avocado. There you go. It's a fucking win. It's like
Yeah.
it's shrimp tacos with easy ingredients.
Yeah, I was gonna say that it wouldn't be my number one thing if I'm looking at the menu.
No,
Uh, Ceviche, again, I've had it. It's just weird that it's like cold,
right.
you know. But one of the last things I guess I wanted to talk about that I found out was the Florida stone crabs,
Mm.
um, which apparently are super good, and they're farmed. There's different regulations that are on there. Now the body itself isn't the best thing because they're kind of small, so they don't really have a lot of meat. So it's almost like crawfish. When you get those
Mhm.
crawfish boils, a lot of people just kind of suck the tail and then get the rest of it out. But the claws, apparently, those are the things that are strong enough to break up the oysters, and they're kind of a delicacy. So it a lot of times people will just use that, and it's definitely the fact that we have overfished them, so a lot of times they try keeping that mortality rate down. They try putting enough of a hunting or a catching um, weight on it. They only allow you to harvest them from October to May,
Oh
so
wow.
it kind of ranges. You're only allowed somewhere between 2 and 3.5 million a year, and it's coming from the Gulf Coast. So there's also stone crabs within, like Louisiana, Alabama, Texas. Like I know that it's still coming from the coast, but at least in Florida, they they're only sold in different sizes. You have four different sizes. You have medium, large, jumbo, and colossal.
Oh.
So I guess the top buyer of stone crabs is Joe's Stone Crab, and that's in Miami.
Mm-hmm.
And it plays a pretty big role in influencing the wholesale price of the many crabbers, which is kind of weird that one person is saying, yeah, I'll buy everything here, but I'm going to do it at this price, and it's going to influence everything else for people who are trying to sell them.
Yeah. I mean, if you got that money to set the market, I mean, why not?
Yeah, for sure.
So,
But I have never had a stone crab before, so I feel like I might have to give that a shot the next time I go to Florida, which who knows when the hell that will be. But I feel like there's going to have to be a bunch of different things I'm going to experience again when I go to Florida.
yeah.
So,
I have one thing,
okay.
and it's got more history that I'd like to get into, perhaps in a different episode. Um, but apparently there is this ice plant in Florida, and it got converted into a distillery. It's now St. Augustine Distillery, right?
Ooh, okay.
And one of the good things about them is that they make bourbon and other fine craft spirits, but they don't mix anything else into their bourbon. So it's like straight, this is us, you know? And
Interesting. Okay.
all of my information just went away. That's lovely.
Technology sucks sometimes,
Yeah.
doesn't it?
So, like I said, they do not source or blend any other whiskeys into their bourbon, which most bourbons nowadays are a mix of a blend. Very rarely are you going to get this is us and this is only us, you know?
Yeah.
But they also distill and bottle everything that they sell. So if they're selling gin or selling anything, it's all hand bottled there. And one of the reasons that this building is so important is that it was this ice factory back in the early 1900s. And it was, I think there were 5 buildings built the first year that this town was there. And this was one of them, the
This
first
is one
people.
of
The first was an electrical plant. But the reason that they had to build ice out of there is because of the amount of shrimp and crawfish and stuff that they ship. And so they had this factory running 24/7 just to meet demand on ice and ice alone to ship all of the seafood that it needed to go to. And I thought that
That
was super interesting.
that's kind of cool to think about. I mean, think about like a long time ago, before we had the refrigeration.
Mhm.
The northern states, very northern, or even we'll say Ohio and higher, like that whole latitude right there. They would freeze the lakes and they'd be able to harvest ice from the lakes, right?
Mhm.
Go down south to Florida. I mean, there's no way in hell that any of that stuff is going to freeze. And if it does, then holy crap, one, it's not going to freeze very long. But think about the refrigeration of all of that, that they had to chump out all this ice just to make sure that the shrimp and the food and all that stuff was kept cold so that they can ship it. And man, talk about how that could influence an entire shipping town, whatever, just to keep seafood fresh.
Mhm. And the crazy thing too is so each quote unquote block of ice that they made was basically would be 39 gallons of water, but it would turn out to be 325 pounds of ice. And this building had kind of figured out how to pump out so much at a time that they were doing 13 of these at a time in roughly 48 hours. Yeah.
Damn, I wonder how they were doing that. Like, I wonder what the process of that was.
Um, so the tour here, it's like steam turbine power generators to produce electricity. The
Okay.
electricity powers a compressor that turns ammonia gas into high pressure vapor. The ammonia gas vapor feeds into a condenser where it turns into high pressure liquid. The chilled liquid ammonia is piped into the ice can tank. Water filled the ice cans are frozen by the ammonia, and ice blocks are ready to pull in 48 hours.
Hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Interesting.
Yeah. So, but it's just kind of interesting to see that, especially when you think of like today, and that wasn't all that long ago that, let's see, it started at 1905. So,
19. Okay.
yeah. And just, okay. So, 1905 is when the facility really began to take off. But ice
Okay.
production began in St. Augustine in 1886. By the earliest 20th century, St. Augustine's 20,000 residents used 125 tons of ice a day. Mm-hmm. So,
That's awesome.
yeah, like, and that's just it's interesting that something that's so core and integral to the community, even though we don't need stuff like that as much today, got refurbished into a distillery, which arguably, after the last 2 years, we need more of than what we needed ice back then.
More distilleries.
More distilleries. So, but I think we're going to wrap this episode up on that note.
All right. Well, you want to take us out?
Yes. Foodies, sex bots, and everybody else that listens to our podcast. We hope you enjoyed this episode of Florida. It was a little all over place. Hope you enjoyed some of the Florida Man headlines. And I've been your host for this wonderful podcast, The Meat Viking. My wonderful co-host.
Professor Porkline. We
And
are
we'll
signing
see
off.
you in the next one.
Yes.